Good morning students, welcome back to online teaching session of Academic World School Pemitra. So as usual I am here in front of you all, and today it is the second video lecture on the chapter Nationalism in Europe of your history book class 10th. So last time what did I taught? I had introduced you with some tough words that are going to be used in this chapter every now and then, like romantic nationalism, liberal nationalism, utopian vision, then different forms of nationalism. So I discussed about all these topics and I tried my best to make you familiar with these topics with the new terms. And you have to keep in mind those terms, because those terms will be repeated in this chapter every now and then. So today I am proceeding ahead, and one more thing I would like to you, I want you to note down everything, whatever I shall be teaching here, whatever I shall be giving the notes here, that notes have to be noted by you. So be ready with your notebook, pen and textbook, and open your textbook, because some points will be such that you will have to look into your book. Okay, so next thing is that in the end I shall give you the assignments, and these assignments have to be solved by you. Okay, after I finish this chapter, what I want that you go through the textbook and read and try to understand what have I taught. Okay, this is very tough chapter and very important chapter. So today my first subtopic is explanation of Frederick Sorius painting. Okay, you open your textbook and see the first page in the chapter Nationalism in Europe. You will find one painting is there, one picture is there, and this picture has been drawn by Frederick Sorius. See, F-R-I-E-D-R-I-C, Frederick, S-O-R-R-I-E-U-S, E-U, Frederick Sorius. So, in fact, Frederick Sorius had drawn 4 pictures, and out of them, the picture that I am going to discuss is the 4th one. And through this picture, he want to convey some messages to us. That message we are going to discuss. We will interpret this picture. Okay, we will go into the depth of this picture and try to understand what the picture convey to us. Okay, see, in the picture there is a Statue of Liberty. Okay, there is a Statue of Liberty. I am writing here every point. First point, this is the first of the 4 pictures drawn by Frederick Sorius. Second point, in the picture there is a Statue of Liberty. In the picture there is a Statue of Liberty. Now, what are the things carried by this Statue of Liberty? You can see in the right hand there is a Charter of Human Rights. In the right hand of the statue there is a Charter of Human Rights, and in its left hand there is a torch of enlightenment. Torch of enlightenment. Okay, so in the picture there is a statue of liberty. Next thing, in the right hand of the statue there is a charter of human rights, and in its left hand there is a torch of enlightenment. Next thing, in the picture you can see a long line of people with different flags. There is a long line of people with different flags passing by the statue. What can you see? There is a long line of people with different flags passing by the statue. What does this indicate? These people are from different countries. These people are from their flags. From their flags we come to know that these people are from different countries with the flags of their respective country. These people are from different countries with the flag of their respective country. Okay, so in the long line of people you can see they do have different flags, and from this flag we come to know that these people are from different countries and they are with their respective flag. They are with the flag of their respective country. Okay, next is 6 number point. In the foreground you can see the remains of monarchy. On the foreground one can see the remains of demolished monarchy. And in the sky you can see gods and angels showering their blessings. In the sky, gods and angels are showering their blessings over these people. Okay, so in detail I am going to discuss. I have already written all the required points, and these points are from the first page of this chapter. You can see the Statue of Liberty, and this is the first of the 4 pictures drawn by Frederick Chopin. Okay, next thing, in the picture there is a Statue of Liberty. And how is the Statue of Liberty? The Statue of Liberty does carry 2 things. In its right hand you can see the Charter of Acts, Charter of Human Rights, and in its left hand you can see the Torch of Enlightenment. So what does this Statue of Liberty convey, this Statue of Liberty conveys that these people, the people who are passing by the statue, once they were living under monarchy, and their monarchy was very tyrant, their monarchy was very atrocious. Okay, their monarch was torturing them. So in this way, they were not living a comfortable life. They were living a troublesome life. Okay, so what happened that a middle class emerged. Middle class was the educated class. Middle class, in class 9 you must have read that before French Revolution of 1789, there used to be three classes: first estate, second estate, third estate. Third estate people were under problem, huge problem. They were facing discrimination. This discrimination used to be done by the people of first estate, second estate, and the people of first estate and second estate, along with Louis XVI, used to torture the common people of the third estate. Okay, so it was third estate from which the middle class emerged, and middle class was the educated class. It was such a class which was literate, and they had broad mind, and they had come up with the idea of liberty and equality. And it was they who ignited the spirit of nationalism in the mind of the common people, and consequently the common people started French Revolution against Louis XVI. And finally, the monarchy was replaced by democracy in France. So same message is being conveyed. Once the people were living under monarchy, they were being tortured, and middle class people came forward with their idea of liberty, equality, and they ignited the nationalist spirit of these people, and finally they came on the road and started their revolution against the monarchy, and they have destroyed monarchy, and in place of monarchy they have brought down republic. So what have I written? One point is there that in the foreground you can see the remains of monarchy, and it indicates that once the monarchy was there, and this monarchy has been destroyed by the revolution of these people. These people have destroyed this monarchy, and in place of monarchy, what has come down? In place of monarchy, democracy has come down. And who has been responsible? Who has ignited these people? Who has inspired these people? Middle class people, the liberal people, okay, the educated people. They came up with the idea of liberty, equality, and they inspired these people, and finally these people organized revolution against their atrocious monarch. So if democracy has come, it is all because of the contribution of educated people. They, in what way they contributed? They circulated their messages in written form, in printed form, in public speech. They conveyed their ideas to these common people. Then these people felt inspired and decided to organize movement against the atrocious monarch. Okay, so in the right hand of the statue there is a Charter of Human Rights. Means these people have got rights under democracy, and in the left hand there is Torch of Enlightenment. It means that middle class people have illuminated the mind of these people. That's why these people have come on the road to organize revolution against the monarch, and finally they have destroyed the monarchy. Okay, next is there are long line of people with different flags passing by a statue. Okay, you can see a long line of people, and these people are from different countries. And how do we come to know that these people are from different countries? From their flags. They do carry different flags, and each flag indicate that they are from different country. They are with the flag of their respective country. Okay, you can see the people of Switzerland and the people of USA have already passed by the statue. It means that their country has achieved the status of nation state. They have destroyed the monarchy. They have replaced the monarchy by democracy. They have established democracy in their own country, and in this way their country has become nation state. Last time what had I told? That any country can be called nation state if the people are having the feeling of collective identity, if the people have feeling of unity. Okay, then their country can be called nation state. India is a nation state. All the Indians do have the feeling of unity. You know that in India, Muslim Christians then Hindus are there, people from different communities are there, and they do not have the feeling of discrimination. They love each other, and whenever the festival is celebrated, they participate in the festival, they hug each other. So from this we come to know that in India there is a feeling of unity, there is a feeling of collective identity. Okay, so India is a nation state. On the other hand, Sri Lanka is there. You can see Sri Lanka. In Sri Lanka, Tamil speakers are badly discriminated. So should Sri Lanka be called nation state? No, Sri Lanka is not a nation state, because there is not a feeling of collective identity. There is not a feeling of collective unity. Okay, Sri Lankans, Sinhala speakers. There are two communities in Sri Lanka: Sinhala speakers, and the second one is Tamil speakers. And Tamil speakers are badly discriminated by Sinhala speakers. In this way, there is no match between Sinhala speakers and Tamil speakers. Tamil speakers are very much disappointed with the Sinhala speakers. Okay, so there is no feeling of unity. So how can Sri Lanka be called nation state? So Sri Lanka is not a nation state. Okay, so there is a long line of people with different flags passing by the statue. Next thing, you can see France just in front of the statue. It indicates that France has just achieved the status of nation state. It means that France has also replaced monarchy by democracy. Last year we had read French Revolution. After French Revolution, monarchy had been replaced by democracy. So same thing is being revealed by this picture. And just behind France, you can see the people of Germany and people of other countries. It means they are behind the statue. It means that they are little bit far away from the status of achieving the nation state. Their countries have not achieved the status of nation state. They are far away from becoming the status of nation state. However, the process of achieving the status of nation state has started in those countries. But right now, they have not achieved the status of nation state. So that's why they are behind. So this is not a simple painting. It does convey huge message. It carries deep meaning. Next thing, on the foreground you can see the remains of demolished monarchy. Means it indicates, you can see the crown and many other things which are related to monarchy. All the things are lying on the ground and they have been demolished. And this indicates that monarchy has been replaced by democracy, by the people of Switzerland, by the people of USA, by the people of France. Okay, look at the picture. Next, in the sky, gods and angels are showering their blessings over these people. Gods, you can see, gods and angels are there in the sky, and they are showering their blessing over these people. This picture, this thing indicate that they are showering with the blessing of fraternity. Means even the gods want that all these people live with a feeling of universal brotherhood. What does the God want? The God want that these people must live with the feeling of universal brotherhood. Okay, so they are blessing these people with the feeling of universal brotherhood, with the feeling of fraternity. So this is the meaning of this painting, and I do think that you must have understood the meaning of this painting. This painting carries very deep meaning and very important. This is the explanation of the first page. Okay, write down, and your first assignment will be from here. Explanation of Frederick Soryu's painting. And you know what will be the answer? The same thing. These things have to be written by you. Okay, note it down and note it down. Okay, so these are the content of the first assignment of today's teaching. Okay. Next topic, I am going to discuss about steps taken to develop the sense of collective identity in France after the French Revolution. This is very tough chapter, and you have to be very attentive so that you can understand this chapter very easily. Steps taken to introduce the sense of collective identity in France after the French Revolution of 1789. Last year we had read in class 9 about the French Revolution, and why had French Revolution been organized in 1789, you will know. The basic problem was Louis XVI, and side by side there were some other problems like people of first estate and people of second estate. So Louis XVI, clergymen who were the members of first estate, nobles who were the members of the second estate, all these people used to badly discriminate against the people of third estate. And the people of third estate, coming under the influence of educated people, getting the ideas of liberty, equality, they had organized French Revolution against Louis XVI. And finally they had been successful to replace monarchy by democracy. So now we are going to read about what happened after the French Revolution. What was the outcome of the French Revolution? What were the changes brought down in France after the French Revolution? Actually, some steps were taken by the French nationalists to generate the sense of collective identity among the French people. That we are going to discuss. We are going to discuss about the several steps taken by the French nationalists to introduce the sense of collective identity among the common people. First point, parliamentary form of government was adopted. Second, constitution was adopted. Okay. So what kind of government was set up? Parliamentary government was set up. Okay. And then constitution was also adopted. Earlier there was monarchy, and monarchy was the absolute power. All the powers were in the hand of Louis XVI. He was the legislative, he was the executive, and he was the judiciary. So he worked as per his wish. He had no fear of the people. But after the French Revolution, parliamentary government was set up, and parliamentary government is the representative government. Election is held, and through the elections, representatives are chosen by the common people, and these representatives hold the office in parliament, and they have to work according to the constitution. So when constitution is there in the country, then government is limited by the constitution. Government has to work within the parameter of the constitution. Government cannot go across the boundary of the constitution. Okay, so constitution always want that government must work for the welfare of the common people. Okay, so how can government go beyond the boundary of constitution? So all this was done keeping in mind the welfare of the people. Okay, so both the points you must have understood. Then third point, national song was adopted. national song was adopted. Okay, in democratic country, national song plays a significant role. We cannot imagine of a democratic country in the absence of national song. In India, Vande Mataram, it is a national song. Their national anthem is their Jana Gana Mana. And when these songs are played in the public, whenever these songs are played, we feel goosebumps. We develop a separate kind of feeling, and we feel with enthusiasm or patriotism. These songs connect the common people with the soils of their motherland. Understood? These kind of songs are patriotic songs, and these songs connect the common people with the soils of their motherland. Understood? So there is a necessity of this kind of song in democratic country. So in the same way, national song was adopted so that people might be connected with the soils of their motherland through this song. At the same time, this song develops the feeling of unity among the common people. This kind of song binds the people in one bond. Next, fourth number part. French was adopted as official and national language. French was adopted as official and national language. It means that all the works had to be done in the French language. Only this language was allowed. Okay, so French people had to speak in French language, and they had to do work in the French language only. Okay, in India, there is no national language. You know that there are many schedules in our constitution, and out of them, one schedule is totally devoted to languages. And how many languages are there in that schedule? 22 languages have been included in that schedules. So these 22 languages are called scheduled languages. Out of them, one is Hindi as well. So in India, the works can be done in any one of these scheduled languages. So there is no single official religion. How many official? Sorry, I am talking about religion. I am talking about the language. In India, if the people want to do their normal work, official work, then they can do in any one of the 22 languages of this schedule list. So there is no single official language in India. How many official languages are there? 22 official languages are there, and any one language can be used by them. Okay, one exam is there, IAS exam, and you can take up this exam in any one of these languages. That is 22 languages. Okay, so French was adopted. French was adopted as official and national language. Next, national flag was adopted. This is also for generating the sense of collective identity among the common people. In India also there is tricolor flag. Okay. Next point is trade barriers were removed. In France, there was a system of trade barriers. Means the traders and businessmen were not free to trade in the territories of France. If they migrated from one territory to another territory with the purpose of business, then they had to pay tax. This tax was called custom dues. Generally, custom dues are charged from those businessmen who do the trade with the people of other countries. Suppose if I have I am having the business relationship with the people of USA, then when I shall be crossing the border of India to deal with the US businessman, then I shall have to pay what? Tax, which is called custom dues. And in Indian territory, if businessmen are moving from one state to another state and they are paying custom dues, then this is totally injustice with them. This must not happen. This is absolutely wrong. And in France, this kind of thing was happening before French Revolution. The French businessmen, when they moved from one territory to another territory, they had to pay custom dues. So this system was removed. Custom barriers, custom dues system was removed. So that's why I am telling here that trade barriers were removed. Trade barriers means the system of taxation was removed so that businessmen could enjoy the free atmosphere to do the business in the French territories. Next, 7 number point. Martyrs were commemorated. See the spelling, M-A-R-T-Y-R-S. It is called martyrs were commemorated. Means, what does this signify? What is the meaning of martyrs? It means those people who had sacrificed for the sake of their country. In India, most often we talk about Bhagwati Charan Bhora, Mukundi Lal, Banwari Lal, Chandrasekhar Azad, Ram Prasad Bismil, Subhash Chandra Bose, Mahatma Gandhi. These are the people who are martyrs. And every year we commemorate these people. And why do we commemorate these people? To connect our Indians with the Indian soil, to make our Indians realize what these people have done for the sake of our nation. Today, if we are enjoying the free atmosphere in India, it is all because of the sacrifice of these people. And who have sacrificed? I am talking about Ram Prasad Bismil, Chandrasekhar Azad, Bhagat Singh, Rajguru, Sukhdev. These were the people who had sacrificed their life for the sake of their nation. And we must be thankful to them. We must express our gratitude to them that we are living a free life, a life of freedom in 21st century. Okay, so this is the cause why martyrs are commemorated, just to generate the sense of love for their own nation, to remind them how they have achieved independence, how they are living in the free atmosphere of the country. So there also martyrs were commemorated to remind the common people of the sacrifice done by their nationalist. Next, common measuring systems and common currency were introduced. In France, before French Revolution, what used to happen that France was divided into number of states, and different states had their own measuring system, different states had their own currency. And ultimately, who did face problem? Common businessmen. The businessmen found it very difficult to move from one territory to another territory because in that process they had to take the help of the conversion table every now and then. So suppose if in India, if we move from one state to another state as a businessman and we follow different measuring system and different currency, then what would be the extent of the problem confronted by us? We will find it very difficult to do the trade. Our business will be retarded. So for the smooth functioning of the business, it is very much necessary that there must be uniform measuring system, there must be uniform currency. That's why after French Revolution, the nationalists proposed the idea of having common currency and common measuring system so that businessmen might not face the problem. They might function smoothly. Okay. Next, my last point. I am writing here. Number 9 point. French soldiers were sent abroad to spread the sense of nationalism. French soldiers were sent abroad to spread the sense of nationalism. The neighboring European countries, there were other European countries who had monarchy. So, okay, I do agree that in France, because of the French revolutionaries, monarchy had been replaced by democracy. But there were other European countries where monarchy was there, and there the people were living a troublesome life. They were being tortured by their own monarch. So they were also having the desire that someone would come and help them get rid of their atrocious monarch. And that's why these soldiers from France sent abroad to help them to get rid of their tyrant monarch. So French soldiers were sent abroad to spread the sense of nationalism, to help those people who were living under their atrocious monarch, and they did it successfully. They helped them to get rid of the tyrant monarch. So this is all about today's chapter, and in the end, now I am going to give the assignments, and these assignments have to be solved by you. Note it down. These are very important points, and today's assignments are going to be based on these topics. First, describe the painting of Frederick Sorin in details. Second, describe all the steps taken by the French nationalists to develop the sense of collective identity among the French people after the French Revolution of 1789. Describe all the steps taken by the French nationalists to develop the sense of collective identity among the French people after the French Revolution of 1789. Okay, so these are the two important questions, and these questions have to be solved by you. And I request you that honestly you finish this assignment at the earliest and post it in your ERP. So in the end, I would like to say that stay home, stay safe, and take care of your health. And most importantly, devote yourself to your study, because this is the way you can find yourself at the pinnacle of success. Bye.